This video is going to be a controversial one. I'm talking about eyeliner mistakes today. I've seen these out in the wild all the time. I've made these mistakes as well. So perhaps 8 eyeliner mistakes that we have all made that tend to age us versus making us look like a better version of the age that we are now. There's no age shame going on. I'm 45, you guys. I will preach that to the rooftops. I'm grateful to be 45, but I definitely have to apply my eyeliner differently now versus what I did when I was in my 20s. They don't work anymore. Mistake number 1 is you are using harsh, heavy lines. Now, this is the technique that I see out in the wild all the time, and I feel like it's more those, I would say 50 and up. Please don't judge me, you guys. Please don't judge me. And I think it's just that trend because back when we were in our 20s, the eyeliner technique was to really line all around the eyes to really bring out the lashes. But what happens as we get older, our eyes tend to look a bit more tired. So having that harsh line doesn't really make our lashes look thicker anymore. It just makes us look tired. It's going to drag the eyes down. It's going to make the eyes look smaller. There's so many things that can happen when you do that rim of dark liner all around the eye. So here's the fix. The fix for this one is to take your eyeliner, instead of just drawing it under the lower lash, let me show you all so you can see. And this is the mistake I see all the time, especially for my age bracket if they're over 40. I think a lot of people really want that lash definition because you want your lashes to look thicker, which it does. But if you just do a harsh line like this, do you see how it just comes across not soft, it's just hard. So I like to take a really small pencil like this, and before it sets is when I start to smudge it out a little bit. So I'm just going to take that brush. It's a Gabby Ross number 11 brush. It's phenomenal, you all. And I really just start to work that formula out. And it may be subtle, but do you see how it's less harsh because I've really just started to blend it out a bit? So it's still giving me that lash definition, but it's not coming across stark or too much. You can also take a little bit of shadow and mix it. Let me show you what this eyeliner looks like. I did a dark purple one because I'm wearing purple eyeshadow today. So if I want to fix it, I can take a neutral color, something like this, kind of a grayish color, or I can even go with kind of a taupey pink, something that's lighter than the purple. Let's do the taupey pink. This is the Huda Beauty Icy Nude palette. Same brush. I'm going to go in with this kind of taupey pink color, and look what happens when I start to put it just under the lash line. Do you see how it diffuses it instantly with one swipe? So I still have defined lash line with that liner, but now it's softer under here because I took a lighter color shadow and put it right under that liner to really blend it out and diffuse it. Mistake number 2 is you're using too dark of a shade. Okay, this goes back to the trends that were going on in the 80s and 90s. We used to take a black eyeliner, and you guys remember people would light it with a lighter to make it really creamy because they used to be dry as hell back then. It was like the dry, like scratch your eyeball type of eyeliner. So people would light them with a lighter to melt it and put it on the eyes. The thing is especially as we get older, black eyeliner does not work for everyone. If you have deeper skin or darker features, like I'll wear black eyeliner sometimes because I have dark eyes, and usually I have darker hair. This is pretty light hair for me, so I feel like I can kind of pull it off if I blend it out really well. But if you have light skin and or light features, wearing black eyeliner can be really harsh. So there's absolutely nothing wrong, you all, of switching to a dark brown, dark purple, navy, a dark gray. Anything that isn't pitch black is going to come across a bit softer, and especially as we tend to get older, having things that are softer and well blended versus hard, harsh lines is going to be more flattering because it just works for our features as we tend to age. Now I have a brown eyeliner right here. I'm going to swatch it for you all. This is a really creamy one. Do you see how dark of a brown that is? If you have lighter skin, I would say, you guys, you just please don't use black eyeliner unless you're going to smudge it out with a brown, a purple, or something like that to soften it, or wear other eye makeup with it. But if you're just going to apply liner under the lower lash line, I would say use a dark brown, a navy, a dark blue, or something like that. Let me show you. It's going to give you a softer effect. So from a distance, it's going to kind of look like black, but it's not going to be so harsh. Now, do you see how I just put that on? That looks harsh. If I don't have anything else going on, it's too much. So I have to do this technique, you all, where I take just a tiny brush and we've got to smudge it out without smudging it or putting some shadow on top. That's where it starts to look very harsh and unnatural. So I just need to smudgy smudge, smudgy smudge, smudge. To me, that's still looking a little bit more harsh. So that's where I'm going to go in with a shadow. You can even use that same brush, go in with something lighter like this and put it just under it, because that's going to soften this out. Do you see how it still gives me the effect that I want with that thickening the lash line, which is the result that we want. We use liner because we want those lashes to look thick, but it's not so harsh because I'm just working shadow on top, and then putting that shadow on top of the liner too is going to help it last longer because it's not going to smudge. The powder is almost going to set it and lock it down. Mistake number 3 is you're only lining the lower lash line. I understand why most people do this is because we want the lower lash line. The lashes tend to get thin, especially as we get older. smaller and the bottom lashes tend to disappear. So I think a lot of people will put eyeliner directly under the lower lash line because they want their lashes to stand out. They want their eyes to stand out. They're afraid of putting eyeliner on the top because we tend to get hooded eyes. Our lid space may be a little bit smaller, and a lot of people are afraid to put eyeliner on top because they don't want their eyes to look small. But what happens when you do just the lower liner technique, it does the exact thing that we're trying to prevent. It makes your eyes look smaller. It makes you look tired and heavy. So here's the fix for this one. So if you have lower eyeliner like I have right here, you've got to do upper liner as well. This is the number one thing, you guys, I see out in the wild is I see people with a really strong eyeliner under the lower lash line, and then there's nothing on top to balance it out. So you've got to do both. And I know a lot of people think it's going to make your eyes look smaller. It's not. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a skinny brush like this. This is what I did here. This is actually not eyeliner. It's dark shadow. So I'm going to take a dark shadow and use a really skinny brush and smudge this on the upper lash line. That's all I did here. It's gonna come across less harsh than a liquid or a gel or even a pencil eyeliner because it's powder, it's shadow. So it's darkening that lash line. Do you see how my lashes look thicker? So now the liner on bottom doesn't come across so harsh because it's balanced with a little bit of something smudged along the lash line as well. So if you guys please promise me, if you do a lower liner, please do a little bit on top too. I promise you it's gonna balance it out and make it look way less harsh. Mistake number 4 is you're skipping the tight line technique. Okay, so this technique isn't for everyone, but I think it's a great option if you're one of those people who may have hooded eyes, you may not have a lid space, or you want very supernatural makeup, but you just want your lashes to look thicker. Tight lining is a technique where you're going to pull up the lid, you're going to put it on the upper waterline basically. And what that does, it gives the illusion of thicker looking lashes. And because you're not putting the liner on the lid, for those who may have not a lot of lid space, it's not going to make the eyes look heavy, but it's still going to give you that effect of having fuller lookage lashes and define the eyes without putting eyeliner someplace where it's obvious. The fix for this is to tightline the eyes. If you don't know how to do that, let me show you really quick. I like to use a gel liner. It's hard to come by. I don't know why brands don't make these as much anymore. I think Maybelline does, Bobbi Brown does. I'm using black, and I'm going to take a black eyeliner pencil and I dip it in because gel liners tend to glide a lot more smoothly than pencils. You can use a pencil if you want, but I feel like the gel, especially when I dip it in with a pencil, it doesn't tug or hurt the eyes at all. So pull up the lashes. Sorry, you guys get a really up close look at my eyeball. Been on YouTube for 16 years. We're practically married at this point anyway, so look away at my eyeball. You see how I'm running it up here, and it's going to make my lashes look thicker. I don't know if you guys can tell because I have eyeliner in both eyes, but do you see right here the difference between this eye and this eye? This is adding a lot of black at the base of the lash line, so it's giving the illusion of eyeliner without eating up lid space. So if you have hooded eyes, try this technique. I promise you'll make those lashes look really thick. Mistake number 5 is you're not adjusting your eyeliner technique for hooded eyes and or mature eyes. So I've seen this a lot too, and I've been guilty of this one. I really had to change my techniques. In my 20s and 30s, I was able to do that really big sharp wing. It came really high up, but as I've gotten older, my skin gets looser and it starts skipping. So I get this kind of jagged line versus a straight one. And then also my eyes are not fully hooded, but they are starting to get loose on the outer corner. So when I do that thick kind of wing, when I open my eyes, it's almost like I'm missing a chunk here. It does not look like a straight wing. So I've had to really adjust it to bring the eyeliner more out sideways versus up and make it a smaller wing versus a really thick one that I used to do in my 20s and 30s. Now, I've taught this technique before. I usually do it with tape or sticky note. I didn't have this today, so you do just anything with a straight line, you all. It could be a piece of cardboard, a piece of paper, just something. I like using sticky notes the best because they aren't overly sticky, but we're gonna use this as a guide. So take your eyeliner. I wanna show you all, if you have hooded eyes, the shape that you're gonna do. Normally, I would say angle the liner like this up past the brow, but if you have hooded eyes, the hooded part's gonna kind of cut into this. You've gotta bring it out like this. Usually you'd follow that lower lash line up like that, but you've got to adjust it like this for hooded eyes so it comes out more sideways versus up so it doesn't cut into that hood, if that makes sense. So I'm going to line it right here to that upper lash line, and we're not going to do a big wing. We're just going to do a baby one, and I'm not going to bring it in all the way because with hooded eyes, it can make your eyes look heavy. I literally just want to do it maybe the outer third of the eye, no more than half of the eye, like that. You see I have a little bit of wings, so it's going to elongate the eyes. It's going to make my lashes look thicker, but it's not going to make the hooded eyes look heavy, and it's also not going to cause that hooded part to cut into the wing, giving you this kind of funky shape. So that's the shape that you want right there. Just a little baby wing is going to be perfect. Mistake number 6 is you're using a pencil that smudges throughout the day. This is one of the most common complaints I get of people asking me advice for their eyeliner. Like, Marlena, my eyeliner melts throughout the day. It smudges. I get Kung Fu Panda look by the end of the day. What is going on? And this is a mistake when you use a really creamy eyeliners, which there's pros and cons. When you have a really creamy eyeliner like the Victoria Beckham one, everyone loves those because they're so soft. They glide really beautifully, but because they glide so smoothly and they don't tug on the skin, you also get the side effect of it can melt throughout the day. So I've got a couple great fixes for this one. You guys know I love the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. A lot of people do. They're really popular, but they're very, very creamy. And if you don't set it, they can smudge throughout the day because they are so creamy. So let me show you all. When you're testing eyeliners, you see how when you put it down and you can blend it out, it has some move to it. That's amazing for not tugging the eyes, but it can start to fade or melt throughout the day. So you've got to set it with some powder. So let me show you. I'm going to put a little bit of eyeliner here, and I'm going to do that same technique where I kind of smudge it out with my brush because I don't want it to be too harsh. But then because this is so creamy, and especially under the lower lash line, if you live in a hot environment or you have oily skin, that sucker can melt and you will have raccoon eyes in like 2 minutes flat. By the afternoon, you're going to look in the mirror and be like, it's going to be Kung Fu Panda. So you want to take a shadow that's kind of similar to the eyeliner that you just used. I did a purple liner, so I can do a purple shadow like this. Be any color, honestly, but if I want that purple to stay, I'm going to smudge some shadow on top, same color, and what that's going to do is lock down the cream. That powder is going to kind of almost set it and help it last a lot longer. And then also another trick, you guys, if your makeup just in general is melting, including your eyeliner, and you live in a hot environment, you have oily skin, you sweat a lot, get a good setting spray. I love the One Size setting spray. I use this all the time when I have really long days. So I will just spray a little mist there. Close your eyes. Don't do it with the eyes open. It will burn. But me spraying it like that, it is going to lock down that eyeliner as well, because all of my makeup in general is going to set. It's going to lock in. It's not going to melt. So that eyeliner is not going to melt too, because everything here is locked down. Mistake number 7, you're lining the waterline without adding lash definition. Okay, this is another thing that I've seen out in the wild too, is where people will put a really strong black eyeliner in the waterline and then they won't surround it with any other eye makeup or eyeliner. They'll just have mascara on and this really harsh liner in the waterline. Again, I get the purpose of what people are trying to achieve. They want their lashes to look thicker. They want their eyes to be more defined. But if you don't surround that with at least a little smudge shadow under the lower lash line or a little bit on the top, really good mascara, touch of eyeshadow, it just feels incomplete and very harsh, especially if it's a black eyeliner. It just comes across too strong. You need to surround it with other things to kind of soften it a bit so it's not so harsh. Now the fix for this one is pretty simple. Anytime you wear a black eyeliner in the waterline, which I'm not today, but if I was to wear black eyeliner, let me show you all. So if I was to have a really thick line here, a black eyeliner, and had nothing going on the rest of the eyes, it's going to look very harsh. It's going to age you absolutely. So you really want to, if you're going to wear black in the waterline, I get why people do it because they really want that lash to look thicker. They want that definition. You've got to put a little bit of eyeliner under the lower lash line, just a teeny bit on top too to kind of surround it. And then again, I keep saying you got to smudge it out under that lower lash line. So if you put eyeliner down or shadow, just smudge it a little bit so it's softer under here. That softness under this lash line right here is going to complement that waterline, so it's not just a harsh black line right there, if that makes sense. Okay, do you guys agree with my eyeliner mistakes or not? Was I missing any? Let me know in the comments below. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm not degrading at all. Again, I've done all of these mistakes. Please trust me. So hopefully this was helpful for you all. Come back next week for another makeup video. I teach a lot of amazing stuff on this channel. Have a great Wednesday. Happy and healthy, you all, and I will see you next week.